Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching this video. I guess you could say today is sort of like a story time video. I've never done one of these before about something I've really never shared with anyone besides those closest to me. So in the interest of making other people who have gone through, I guess, something similar, I want you to understand that you're not alone in it. I feel like a lot of it's internalized. For example, a couple of years ago, I uploaded a video about my experiences in the lower astral plane. It has to do with sleep paralysis and all this crazy stuff that, honestly, when I posted it, I didn't even think people were going to respond. I thought I was crazy. And to my utter disbelief, so many people have gone through the same thing. And because I shared that, I was able to kind of create this little community who can feel open to discuss demonic attacks and all these things that that I had gone through. I've been receiving so many messages about that video specifically, and it made me inspired to be like, what am I doing with this channel if not to connect people more and to be talking about things that I guess aren't as easy to talk about. So today's topic is about, I guess you could call it an illness or a disease that I have. It's very informally called visual snow. It is such a rare condition that there's been virtually no research done on the subject. And this started about 11 years ago. It's where I see dots covering my entire visual field. Like right now, as I'm looking at you, all I see is a world made up of like sand, almost on a TV screen that's not functioning properly. Mine can get worse and better depending on mood and depending on certain things that I eat and drink. It can get so bad that sometimes I'm practically blind, like I can't see anything. At the beginning, the dots were a lot bigger, like the pixels were bigger and they got smaller over time to the point where like right now, I mean, the world is just made up of millions and millions and millions of molecules that I can perceive very vividly. It all started 11 years ago when I was visiting my brother at Purdue University. I was walking back to my brother's dorm and I watched this car passing, and you know when you get like an after image of lights? Well, these headlights became these like pinpricks of black that have never gone away since. And I was like, okay, this has to just be some weird vision anomaly, whatever, it's gonna go away at some point. 5 minutes pass, 10 minutes pass, an hour passes, and these things are still right there. Like they're not moving no matter what I do. They're kind of like puncture holes through my vision. And so I start to freak out. And I called my parents and I was like, you guys, I have these like puncture holes through my vision. And they did some research and they're like, Brad, this is just floaters. This is nothing to worry about. I was like, you guys, it's not floaters. These are like fixed points. They're not moving. I actually had to have my dad come get me because I was just freaking out. You guys have no idea. Like vision obviously for everyone is how we see the world. For me, also being a filmmaker, the visual arts is my life. It's how I express myself. So even the idea of losing any part of my visual field is just like my worst fear ever, and it was starting to come true. In the ensuing weeks, I started to lose more pixels. Like they would just drop off like flies. Bam, 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 in random parts of my visual field. I thought I was like a camera going defunct. It was the weirdest experience of my life. First of all, I didn't even know the visual field was composed of so many pixels and dots, which now I know are rods and cones. They would just disappear one day. You know, I went online, I researched every single day. I was in such a state of terror that my vision was I was going blind. This coincided with my college years. I went to a trade school called Tribeca Flashpoint Academy in Chicago for filmmaking, film directing, and as you can imagine, I'm starting to see holes in everyone's faces. Like, I swear at one point, like almost half of my visual field was just not there. Random parts of it just weren't there. I would like look at a straight line on a wall and half of it was missing. Or be leaning like this and crooked and chewed and crazy. The sad part was it never resolved. Like it never ever resolved. It started getting worse in those next 2 years, and I remember just falling off the grid. I wasn't even present at school. I didn't go to college. I was physically there, but I wasn't there. At the end of the year, we did an assessment with the president of the school, and he was like, Brad, you're the only person in the school who hasn't talked to me. I don't even know who you are. Like, you just really didn't apply yourself at all. And that's when I broke down crying, and I was like, well, I'm so sorry, but I truly believe I'm going blind, meaning that this whole education was for nothing, and I don't have any clue where I stand in this world anymore. To be a filmmaker and someone who loves images so much, to have that chronic terror that you're just not gonna see anymore. It was really, really, really hard for me. And I wish there was a conclusive, I wish there was a way to end that, but it just kept getting worse over the years. My night vision, by the way, is completely gone. Everything just got twisted and warped, and even to this day, like, I really suffer from whatever it is. Over the years, ophthalmologists, neurologists, specialists studying the visual cortex and the occiput and all that stuff, like, no one could figure out what was wrong with me. I was just this anomaly. Even to this day, no one has any clue what I'm talking about. I have yet to meet anyone with remotely the kind of condition that I have. It really, really, really claimed so much of my emotional energy, as you can imagine. Like, I was just thinking about losing my vision all the time. I just expended most of my energy energy into that fear. And even to this day, that started when I was 18, I'm 29 now, and I still have no answers for it, but I just have to deal with it. It does get worse. The world's getting farther away from me. Like lines are just like bending in odd formations and patterns and things that don't make sense. Like sometimes I'll just see like a glitching part of my vision. It'll just like glitch and move. And I'll be like, am I like a computer going wrong? Like what is happening to me? I guess over the years I've learned to just deal with it and live with it, but it hasn't resolved. Even right now, my whole visual field is covered in dots just going like this. The tripod legs are made of sand. Like everything is like might as well not be there. I feel like I could rake my hand through it and it would pass right through. That's just how it looks. I don't know if this has anything to do with like the problems that I've had in other dimensions. Like if people have watched my lower astral video where I describe having demonic encounters, they'll see that I am very, very familiar with those nightmare realms. And I don't know if it has anything to do with that, but 18 was around the year where I started to have real crushing feelings that I would never come out. I would never be my true identity. And I strongly feel that maybe out of that stress and like rejection of myself manifested this visual anomaly to kind of like represent all the stress I was going through. Maybe I'm still unwinding from that. I have no clue. But I'm just at this point saddling up to expect that this is gonna be how it is for the duration of my life. You know, I'm just gonna have to deal with it. And if anything, it makes me prize my vision so much. I do not take any sense for granted. I think the fact that we are able to wake up and perceive our outer world and just to have the experience of sight is everything. So if anything, it's taught me to value every waking moment so much more. I know a lot of people haven't really been like officially diagnosed, you know, they're suffering from something weird. I think we're dealt a lot of cards in life by the universe to see how we perform, how we deal with it, like how we overcome it. And I think because mine was specifically visual, it taught me to be like, no matter what, my commitment and my love is and my passion is for film and the visual arts, and I will not let the threat of deteriorating vision or anything stand in my way. And even if that's the case, I'll find a way. You know, I will find a way to tell my stories and to experience this life to its fullest no matter what. So for anyone going through something like that, I totally know how you feel. Please share here. Like if you have any undiagnosed thing, like let's talk about it. Maybe it's something of more an energetic and spiritual nature that can't be explained. Maybe that's part of what we have to learn as light workers, as people. It's about inner strength because no one but us individually has to deal with it. So I think communicating, we're stronger together. I love you very much. Thank you so much for watching this video. It's my first story time. Stay tuned for more videos for light workers and star seeds and everything in between. Love you guys.